So we will learn here a noun, basically substantive. How can we place a noun in Swedish language? So we start with first with articles. You know that we write articles a and an in English for indefinite nouns, and for definite nouns we write basically the. For example, the man, the pen, can write a man, a pen, an elephant, for example. So these are articles that we use in English. But in Swedish we have two articles, n and at. These are two articles. 80% nouns are n nouns in Swedish. 20% nouns are eth. There is no specific rule to remember these articles means should I place eth and why should I place n. But if you don't know, for example, we can always use n because 80% nouns are n nouns. So these are two articles that we use for indefinite noun and definite noun. How we will use them? That we will learn now. So here we have, for example, indefinite nouns at first. These are indefinite articles. This is a noun, as you can say, booth. So once you write indefinite nouns, you will always write the article on the left side in Swedish language of the noun. For example, this is booth, so I'm placing the article on the left. All these bold articles, these are indefinite nouns. At boot, a table, and stool, a chair. At hus, a house. At barn, a child. And bill, a car. At apple, an apple. And regering, a government. And both, a boat. So you can find here there are few examples are eth and few are n. Why I'm writing here eth boot and why I'm writing here n with stool? Because they both are almost same category, furniture, but there's no rule. Why should I write here n and why should I write here eth? We have few guidelines that we will learn in this lesson, but there is no specific rule. Well, we have basically neuter and non-neuter genders in Swedish that we'll learn now in this next slide. So next we have definite article. So for definite article, we write basically en or et at the end of the noun. And if you find vowels, they have same vowels like in English at the end of the noun. Then we can place there, for example, just one t for eth nouns or just one n for n noun. We can check examples, then we will understand. Burdet. So this is my indefinite noun that we just learned in the last line. So when you want to make the table means specific noun, definite noun. So you are ending your article on the right side of the noun now. Okay. On the right side, I'm placing here burdet. This is eth noun, but when I will write on the right side, I will remove the one t, only use et. Okay. Stolen mean the chair, and stool. So place this en at the end of the noun. Stolen, the chair. That becomes your definite noun. Husset mean the house. So this is your indefinite noun at hus. And here maybe I'm talking about my house. So this is a specific noun now. Husset at barn, a child. Barnet, the child. As you can see, et, and et. Here we are using one. We are not using one t here. Billen, the car. So this is n bill. Just place this en at the end of the noun. Applet, the apple. Technically, this is a eth apple. Regeringen, the government. So this is n regering. We write en at the end. Boten, the boat. So that is a n both basically, and this is my, you can say, definite article. So these are indefinite nouns where we write article at the left side, and these are the definite nouns where I'm writing the article on the right side of the noun. Okay, that is the difference between definite and indefinite nouns. Now we move towards the gender. There are only two genders in Swedish language. We call them non-neuter gender or neuter gender. Non-neuter gender can be known as a n words, and neuter gender can be known as a eth word. Okay, so means in English we have a biological gender means the girl, that would be a feminine she, The boy, he is a masculine, he, and house can be a neuter, for example, it. But in Swedish, you have, only two grammatical genders, that is neuter and non-neuter gender. Okay, there is no masculine and feminine. Either you place n gender or eth gender. N gender can be known as a non-neuter gender, and eth gender is a neuter gender. Means either your noun is n or eth. I can write n kvinna means a woman, and I would write n man a man. So they both come in the same gender. In English, we have basically a woman is a feminine, a man is a masculine, But here they are similar both. They are in the same gender. That is non-neuter or n gender. Okay, is that clear till now? Okay, then we can move forward. So here we have few examples where we learned in the last example means definite and indefinite articles. So we have just mentioned more nouns here. And kavina, a woman. That I was just kavinan mean the woman. So I'm placing here only one n. Why I'm placing here one n only, not en? Because here is a vowel. So if noun ends on vowel, so we will place only one n. Okay. For example, in the next one is a n man, and that becomes manan. So here it ends on consonant, so I'm placing here en. And skog, a forest, that becomes skogen, the forest. Ethfall, falleth, the mountain. You place et at the end of the noun. And family, familian, the family. And wag, a road, wagon, the road. And datur, computer, datoran, the computer. So this is a exception. There are few exceptions, very few, where we place one n. Even our noun doesn't end on vowel. This is ending on consonant, but still I'm ending writing here only one n. So these are very few exceptions. In the next lesson, we have many examples of nouns that would be very clear. When we will go through them one by one. At brave, braveth, the letter. At umrode, umrodit means the area, surroundings basically, my neighborhood where I live. So these are basically, you can say, telling us definite, indefinite nouns. These are also telling us gender. Technically, here we have two genders only, n gender and eth gender. That's why I have these two in the same gender. We'll never find this in English. This is my second gender, that is gender. Okay. So now we move towards a simple sentence structure. We learned in the very first lesson that this is a simple word order where we place verb at the second place, our subject as the very first place, and then we have object just like in English. Han läser en book. He reads a book or he is reading a book. We don't have a continuous tense in English. In Swedish, we have only 9 tenses. So we can translate either in present indefinite or present continuous in English. Okay. He reads a book or he is reading a book. This is a reversed word order where I place a non-subjective word at the start of the sentence. In this situation, my subject will suffer and it will move to the very next position to my verb. Verb cannot change its place. It will always be at the second position, like here and here. So if you don't want to start sentence with the subject, then you have to write a verb. For example, here, Iblan
Okay.
leser han en book. Sometimes he reads a book. So means my subject can compromise in this situation, but verb will never compromise. It will always remain at the second position. So you can check few more examples. This is a normal statement. We have seen simple word order. Jag dricker vatten. I'm drinking water. Or you can say Idag äter jag bröd. Today I'm eating bread. So this is a reversed word order. Why? Because I'm starting sentence with non-subjective word. Idag is not a subject. It's basically a time reference word. So we are using my verb after, sorry, my subject after verb. Barnet äter frukt. The child is eating fruit. Jag älskar glass. I love ice cream. Hunden äter ett äpple. The dog is eating an apple. Sällan är suppen good means rarely the soup is good. So this is a reverse word order. Suppen is basically the subject, so it plays third position. Eva skriver ett brev. Eva writes a letter. Ole spelar tennis. Ole plays tennis. Du väntar här. You are waiting here. Hon sjunger en sång. She sings a song. So this is a simple word order and a reversed word order in a very simple sentences. And now we move again to the last topic, that is how can we predict gender from the meaning of noun. We know that there is no specific rule to identify either it is a n noun or eth noun. There are only two types of nouns, n and eth. Still, we have few
Mm-hmm.
predictions that we can make to identify either it is a n noun or eth noun. So first we check for n gender or non-neuter gender. So in this category, we have first human beings, means all the nouns that comes in human beings, they are 99% chances they are n nouns. There are few exceptions that we have mentioned here. Otherwise, if you find any noun that belongs to this category, human beings, you will place there n as a article with noun. Okay. For example, n kille, a boy, and Kavina, a woman, and police officer, and daughter, a daughter, and zone, a son, and sister, and cousine, a cousin. So these are all in this category, human beings. We have these relations and these nouns. There are a few exceptions here. For example, at born. It doesn't it doesn't come in n gender. It is a at gender. And then we have at siskon, a sibling. At bitrade means an assistant. There might be few more, but these are very common that we have used here. So these are exceptions that you can use in at gender. Otherwise, you find any noun, just place there n. Okay. Next
Okay.
category we have animals. Majority of the animals are also in non-neuter gender, mean they are n nouns. For example, en cat, a cat, en rota, a rat, en hast, horse, en onsa, a donkey, en hund, a dog, en kaneen, a rabbit, en mus, a mouse, en elephant, en vogel, a bird, en anka, a duck, en dolphin, means a dolphin, en bjorn, a bear, and varg, mean wolf, and spindle, spider, and om,
And
a
mm-hmm.
snake, and camel, and geth, a goat, and hona, chicken, and ku, a cow. So these are all
Oh,
basically animals. They are and nouns. Here again we have few exceptions. At swin, this means a pig. At four, a sheep. At leon, a lion. At bee, a bee. At dior. So this is a journal word for animals. The noun. At diur, an animal. These are exceptions where we at. Otherwise, you will place an noun with animals. And next we have a category that is periods of time. So we have here n gender, n minute, n dag, mean a day, n vecka, a week, n for, a spring, and we have et digan, a day, et or means a year. So these are basically two exceptions that we place at. Otherwise, you will place here n with period of time. So you have here basically two words, ethdikan and endag, a day. What is the difference between these two? Endag we use for the daytime, basically, well, bright hours of the day, or it can be,
mm-hmm.
days of week. For example, a week has 7 days, so I can place there n vekka or seven dagar. Mean sorry, who dagar? 1 week is a 7 days. Digan is a 24 consecutive hours. But we have class at 7 a.m. So next morning 7 a.m. will be at Digan, a day. Consecutive 24 hours are Digan, and bright hours of the day you can call them a dog or maybe days a week, that can be a dog. That is the difference between these two. And next we have plants. Plants are also n nouns, are non-neuter gender, and rose, and oak tree. So this is exception. Ethrod, a tree. That is a eth noun. Next we have eth gender. So name of continents, countries, regions, and towns. These are basically come in this category in eth gender. Write articles basically with countries and regions and towns. But we can use these genders when we make adjectives or plurals. So technically, when we learn in detail about grammars, we will use their for adjectives and for plural maybe, and not for plurals. We don't write articles, but when we will learn in detail, then we can discuss about them. I have mentioned a few examples, but that I think are too early to go through them. So you can just leave them and move towards next category. That is how to predict gender from the form of noun. First one was basically from the meaning of noun, and now we have another category where we can identify the gender, that is from the form of the noun. First, we can go through non-neuter gender, means n gender. So if a noun ends on a, there are chances that it will be n noun. Here you have examples: en flicka, a girl; en krona, crown; en resa, a journey; en skola, a school. So they all ends on a. So next we have this suffix. If you have this suffix, this pattern at the end of the noun, then it will be a n noun. For example, en läkare, doctor; en Göteborgare means a Gothenburger, the person who live in Göteborg. So in this scenario, we will place there n. And next we have else, else, this pattern, en birat else means a story, and betid else a meaning. So if you have this category, that means your noun is ending on basically end. And the next one is Heath. For example, N Legenheath, an apartment; and Moiligheath, an opportunity. And the next we have ink. You find at the end of the noun, that would be your n noun. And Tidning means a newspaper, and Thovling, a competition. And for fourth gender, we have also endings, that is ande. But the first scenario mean et av your ande means a decision, or you can say et bimotande. Bimotande means a reception. Et uptrad ande, a performance. And next we have ende. Et or ende, a task. Et li ende means a smile. And we have here exceptions. Et en studerande means a student. En goende, a pedestrian means the person who's going for a walk. So these are two exceptions with this ending. Otherwise, you will get with this ending any noun, you can place there at. The next we have at museum, and we have at factum means if ends on a noun, that must be at noun. So these are a few you can say guidelines to predict the gender. You can best way is that when you learn a noun, learn it with the article. For example, en man, at museum. So you just don't learn just museum, learn at museum. So that is more easy way. And you can use also the guidelines, the articles. So at the end we have this exercise that you can try at home. Just check the
Okay.
endings, and place article. Okay. If you don't understand, you can ask
Okay.
me in the next class. Okay. If you have any questions,
No, no.
goodbye.